So this is apparently Call of Duty map design now, and I'm just like, dude, what have we come to now at this point? Because it's just ridiculous. I mean, look at this. This is a new Call of Duty map that was just released. It's just a very long hallway. Oh my god, this map is so loud. Oh my god. For real, it's so hard to hear anything in this game because of just like the loud train sound. I'm sorry if I'm yelling in the microphone. I just can't even hear myself think for how loud this map is. Because who needs map with like elevation differences, lines of sight, you know, power positions or anything like that? No, we just go with one long tube. I feel like this map is a shining example of the longevity of Call of Duty's live service since 2019 and how they're just basically starting to run out of ideas. But it also plays into the Call of Duty community's interaction and engagement, how they just constantly engage with like the simplest map design possible, and how I don't really see this changing anytime soon. But it also plays into the best and worst parts of what makes a Call of Duty multiplayer experience. Mainly because this map plays into exactly what appeals to a Call of Duty game. It is switch your brain off, stupid fun. So if you want to know everything, make sure to stay tuned throughout the whole video to understand all the details. This map literally plays as like FPS whack-a-mole. It's like a 50% chance of like which door is it going to be and how is it gonna suck. So the first point I made was that this map is an example of the longevity of the live service of Call of Duty, as in you gotta come up with some random ideas because you gotta fill in the space when it comes to just content. I put together a spreadsheet here, you can see what I'm talking about, where since Modern Warfare 2019, which I would call the start of the live service experience, Modern Warfare 2019 had 54 total maps, Cold War with 40, Vanguard with actually only just 29 maps, which is surprising, Modern Warfare 2 with 45, Modern Warfare 3 with the most with 65 maps. Yeah, a lot of those are remakes, but those are new things you can experience within the game. And currently, right now within Black Ops 6, you're at 28 maps. So grand total for the last 3 years, we're now fully through 6 years with Black Ops 6, that's 261 maps. We're averaging around 49 maps per Call of Duty. Now, when you compare this to what you call the golden era of Call of Duty, right, from Call of Duty 4 to Black Ops 2, everyone kind of considers that era right there. You had much lower map counts. Averaging it out from these 6 different titles, that equates to 163 total maps, which is roughly 27 per Call of Duty. So if you take the live service era, divide that by the classic era right here, the golden age, you're gonna get 1.8 times more maps for the live service game of a Call of Duty compared to the classic version of them. Now, I figured it was important to dive into the math of how many more maps we're getting per Call of Duty to showcase like why we are where we are right now. Because there's only so many variations of a 3-lane map you can make for a Call of Duty game. Oh, I feel so dirty for doing that, but it worked. You gonna snipe? I can snipe too with my SMG. That's Call of Duty, baby. There's a recoil on this bitch. Look at me out snipe a sniper with an SMG. You gotta love this game sometimes, man. Oh my god. This is what you gotta do. This is Call of Duty now. Oh, look at this guy. He's just staring at a doorway the whole time. This is not fun. And yes, for a side note, for modern Call of Duty, we've had ground war, which are just like super large scale battles. We've also had those face-off modes, right? They're like 2v2s. But those are still unique experiences to play. Like they deliberately made that a map for you to play on. So when you need to basically double your output of maps, you're gonna have to come up with some wacky ideas eventually. And what kind of maps get the most amount of play in Call of Duty? Well, it's the small, simple maps. And this is nothing new for the Call of Duty franchise. Ever since Modern Warfare Call of Duty 4, yeah, we've had these small maps starting off with Shipment back in this game. Dome was a fan favorite during World at War, which is a little bit larger, obviously. It's like kind of more of a logical small map, but definitely one of the smaller maps within the game and had a lot of high action. Rust during Modern Warfare 2, I mean, classic 1v1 map. Black Ops 1 had Nuketown. I mean, I remember every time playing this map, and if it was in the map voting rotation, everyone would be voting for Nuketown almost every single time. But the thing about these small maps, they were kind of more one-off experiences, because all the other maps in the game were actually well-designed, intricate maps that are meant to vary up the gameplay a little bit to keep you engaged in playing. But with modern Call of Duty, they seem to really focus in more and more on these small maps. Did they literally just spawn right behind us? Oh my god. This game, dude. The fresh spawn, that means we can get up top and get some kills, right? Kind of. And we flipped again. This is so dumb. Oh my god, what is this? What is this game right now? What are we playing? I'm being that guy right now, and I hate it. No, don't be what I've become, okay? So let's look at the matchmaking right now when it comes to the current Call of Duty, right? Go find a match right here. You have the core matches we'll get into a little bit later here. The TMT mosh pit, which actually has a decent variety here of different maps you can select through. Some small, medium, some more regular size maps. So like, you know, rather varied up gameplay experiences, right? But then you go into Grind, it's kind of a smaller map, right? From Black Ops, I believe, 1, if I remember correctly. Then you have a specific map for just small map mosh pit, which again, you look at all the maps here, it's all the small maps that you don't really have to really think or do or anything, right? When it comes to playing, you just jump in and you just start blasting it away, right? Kind of just not really making a whole lot of sense. You got Bullet 24/7 right now. You got Prop Hunt, which is like a casual fun mode right there. But then if you look at Gunfight here as well, you go to the information. Again, look at that. It's all the small maps in Call of Duty. Or if you just want a regular 6v6 classic gameplay experience, well, yeah, you can definitely go over to the quick play match filter right here. But then you can looking through this, you see there's a lot of 24/7 matches, which the 24/7 matches are Stakeout, which is a very small map, if you guys know about that one, and then of course Nuketown 24/7. Now they would only make 24/7 playlists because people want to keep playing those maps in particular. Why? Because they're small, kind of mindless fun. Now, if you guys remember at the launch of Black Ops 6, they actually had a dedicated playlist called Strike, which are just a series of really small maps. Now, I will say hats off to Black Ops 6 because they do have a lot more regular size maps here compared to Strike maps, but you see how this one-off type of map that we had in these classic Call of Duties are now becoming very commonplace and almost like a significant section of the experience of the multiplayer. And the reason why we keep seeing more of these maps is because you keep playing them. The Call of Duty community keeps on playing these tiny maps. You know, like how you have the red outlines that just pop up. It makes them just like pop from that background so much I don't even have to bother with like target acquisition. The game does it for me effectively. Dude, look at that. You see these guys through the smoke. I don't even need an infrared sight. I just need to have the smoke slightly dissipate. I can see them right before they can see me. Oh god, they burned me now. Number 1, baby. Let's go. All skill. All skill. I feel so disappointed in myself for how I played that. Now, a lot of people say the reason why these small maps are so popular is because people use these maps as an opportunity to grind out attachments to then go play Warzone, which I find just hilarious that people would rather just grind mindless activities to actually get to a point of where they actually want to play the game, which is just funny in the first place because you're not even playing just because you enjoy the experience. You're playing because it's like almost like a grind, like a job or anything. But if anything, these small maps help insist on the gameplay experience of the engagement of Call of Duty to increase that even more, so to filter people into the Warzone experience. Because why play Call of Duty multiplayer for the intricate systems that they built in, the map design they put countless hours in, timeless testing and intricate design to make sure you have the best experience possible, when you can just spawn directly into the action, get as many kills as possible within a singular match, and then get back into Warzone. This is why we see like Shipment 24/7, Nuketown 24/7 in almost every single Call of Duty now at this point. But now we've seen this small map experience transfer over to Warzone as well, with the most recent map of Area 99 being the first Warzone map that they released for this Black Ops 6 game, which is again very much similar to like a small map experience, but on a larger scale, obviously. But one of the most popular modes within Warzone is Resurgence. If anything, it's probably the most popular one I see people playing nowadays. And effectively, it's just absolutely chaotic TDM with a lot of players jumping all over the place from every direction. It really lacks the sense of strategy and knowledge to actually end up winning, where it comes down to a lot of luck and just people playing the game a lot. But also with the recent leaks and rumors suggesting that Season 3 will see the return of Verdansk coming into Call of Duty, but you know, the return of Verdansk has been something that's been leaked and rumored for over a year now at this point. Like, when's it gonna happen? I don't know. So during this live service area, we've seen a lot of focus on small maps, getting people jumping in, get that instant action, instant gratification. You don't have to really navigate the maps, you don't really have to think, you just spawn and start shooting. Turning Call of Duty's classic multiplayer, which is super addictive and has been fun for the longest time, into more of a utility for people to grind out attachments in Warzone. But the thing is that these maps are high action and they play into what Call of Duty players like the most. It's just constant instant action where you don't really have to try a whole lot. You know, you don't have to utilize any kind of strategy. Because the majority of people who are playing Call of Duty multiplayer are casual players, right? People are weekend warriors, if you will. They don't have much time to really jump in and really get better at a game. They just kind of play it more as a way to spend time. And let me be clear, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that as well. I just wish that we would see more of a focus on strategy and rewarding players for tactical knowledge and being able to strategically outplay people rather than just spawning and throwing a grenade across the map and getting a triple, because I find that classic Call of Duty experience so much more rewarding as a multiplayer. Because with the classic Call of Duty multiplayer map design, you're rewarded for map knowledge, things like controlling power positions, strategic movement throughout the map, understanding the spawn system, predicting player locations, and just understanding map flow as a whole, instead of the small map design, which is just spawn in and it's absolute chaos. You don't need to learn to get better at the game, you just need to just shoot a bunch of things as soon as you spawn. It's so mind-numbing. Which then wraps me back to Bullet, the newest map within Call of Duty, and this map is such a unique map design that I had to jump in and play. Like, how does this actually work out? Because when I see this as the overview of the map, I'm like, this is the most simplistic, dumbed down version of Call of Duty I could ever play. And yes, the gameplay experience on Bullet is just that. It's mind-numbing. It's almost zero strategy involved. There is zero flanking to be had. You're literally just running down a singular hallway. And this is what I want. I want an LMG. I want to be in the thick of it. We're going in. Just hold the trigger down. Dude, you can't shoot the doors. I tried that. You can't shoot through the doors, dude. I tried that. These are bulletproof doors on a train. Oh, that was a team. That was a bad guy. I was like, what the heck is this guy? Oh, no, don't fall off the map. No! There is a rooftop area as well where you can utilize for, I guess you can call that flanking, but again, it's just another flat hallway to shoot down with even less cover. I'm guessing that rooftop layer is just there so it's not the most mind-numbing experience possible in Call of Duty. But you get to this point in the map design when it comes to a Call of Duty map because of the longevity, like I mentioned earlier, with the live service of having to pump out twice the amount of maps effectively within the same amount of time as the classic golden era of Call of Duty. The simplicity of map design being favored within the Call of Duty community, right? Every time there's been a small map, it's always the one that gets voted the most. If it's Shipment, if it's Nuketown, along with the increased engagement numbers of the multiplayer in these small maps because people utilize them a lot just to grind out attachments for Warzone. This ridiculously small map design being catered to in a specific place at launch for Black Ops 6. And even in the core size maps in Black Ops 6, it was something that people noted that a lot of these maps are much smaller. The action is really high paced, a lot of different angles to get shot from. So when you have this constant level of just stupidly high action that's almost mind-numbing at the point that it's just one note the entire time, there is no variation within it, it just gets repetitive and boring really fast. So yeah, I'm actually concerned with the future of Call of Duty multiplayer. It's what I grew up with as a gamer back in the Xbox 360 era, and something I still enjoyed to jump into every once in a while because nothing quite hits like Call of Duty does. I'm just concerned that we're catering to the lowest common denominator, so then we get those engagement numbers up even higher. If you made it this far in the video, I hope I earned your like, maybe even a subscribe. Let me know what you guys' thoughts are on the map bullet or just the small map design in Call of Duty in general. If you made it this far in the video, leave a green heart. Let me know who the real ones are out there in the comments, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace out.